Right, good afternoon, Algebra 2 Trig Honor students. So I would like to talk about the rest of the part 3 of conic sections. So to look at that, number 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 26. Okay, so we'll take a look at that 16 and 18 first. Okay, so let me try to copy and paste this one. Okay, so for number 16, okay, so for number 16, we do have a system equation. And this one is considered quadratic. So what we can do here, we can always line up the equation and try to subtract, because there are a lot of things they share in common. And then by the time you subtract, you'll see that it's going to be cancelled. So once you subtract, x squared got canceled. And then what we got left here, negative 3y squared, then that'd be 3y squared. 4x cancels out with 4x. 13y minus negative 2y, then that would be considered 15y. And then negative 136 minus 163. Okay, so that's just like 163 minus 136. Can I do it mentally? I cannot do it mentally either. Not a good day today. So this one, 5 minus 3, 2. So 27. So that means plus 27. And then once you come out with the equation, this one is a brand new equation. So the first equation, second, and then this one, let's say equation number 3. So we do know that's a quadratic, so we take out 3. And then we do have y squared plus 5y plus 9 equals 0. And this one is non-factorable, so we're using quadratic formula, which is y equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So it's negative 5 plus minus square root of 25 minus 4 times a times c, so 4 times 1 times 9, which is 36. And then 2 times 1. And then from here you can stop, because that square root of 25 minus 36, that's an imaginary number. So negative 5 plus minus, it's like root 11i over 2. So nothing we can do, because the solution, they're considered imaginary. So this one, the conclusion would be no real solution. So no real solutions. Okay, so now let's take a look at that, the other one. So for number 18, so again, I'm going to copy and paste for this one. Okay, so for number 18. Okay, so now let's take a look at that. And for number 18. Oh, by the way, if you guys do like my channel, so please subscribe my channel. And also, make sure that you click the bell, because I normally upload a new video there. At least like once per week, or maybe sometimes more than that. Okay, so check it out. And here's the, okay, so the brand new system. So we do have 1 and 2. Equation 1 and 2. So compare and contrast anything that is sharing common. So it looks like 7y squared. So basically we can line up the equation. So you probably want to use the second equation to subtract the first one, because that would be easier to do it that way. And the second equation is longer, has more content. So you always want to put the one with more content equation on the top. And then the one down the bottom, you want to put in 7y squared minus 4x, and then minus 14y, and then plus 11. As you can see that what I'm doing here, I'm just matching up with the same term. Okay, so again, subtract, so minus 0 term, so then that'll be 16x squared. And then 7y squared cancels out, so negative 148x minus negative 4x, then that would be considered negative 144x, because negative times negative, which is what, positive. And then negative 14y cancel. So 139 minus 11, then that would be considered 128. 9 minus 1, that's 8. 3 minus 1, that's 2. 1, bring it down, 128. And then check it out, the greatest common factor, so probably be what, 16? If that one, it's divisible by 16. Okay, let's see, 144, is that divisible by 16? So 4 times 6. Okay, so 6 times 6, that's 36. Okay, 8 times 6, 48. Well, let's take out the small number first. Is this divisible by 2? Okay, let's try 2 first. So ax squared minus 72x, and then plus 1, well, let's see, 64. And then we can take out another greatest common factor. So it looks like 8 also. So basically we can take out 16. And then x squared. And then minus 9x. And then this one here plus 8. Because you take out another greatest common factor. 8. So this one is factorable. So which is what? X minus, well, let's see. And 1. Minus 8 minus 1. So that means x equals 8, x equals 1. So we do have 2 points of intersection here with the conics. So it looks like the first one is like ellipse. The other one here, it's a parabola. Well, how do I know? Because the first one here, it's x squared plus y squared. And the other one is only y squared with the x term as a linear. Okay, so now solve for y. So you want to plug in this one back to the first equation because that looks a little bit easier. So plugging back to the first equation. So 7y squared. Okay, started with one solution at a time. So when x equals 8, let's find out what y is. So 7y squared minus 4 times 8, 32. And then minus 14 times 8. Again, I cannot do the mental math today. So just show the work. 4 times 8, 32. 1 times 8, 8 plus 3, 112. Okay, so minus, well, let's see, minus 14y. Sorry about that. So that one just substitution. So subtract negative 14, minus 14y. And then plus 11. So that equals 0. Again, this one is a quadratic. So 7y squared minus 14y. Negative 32 plus 11. Then that would be negative 21. So set equal to 0. Take out 7. So we do have y squared minus 2y minus 3. So that means we can factor this. So y minus 3, y plus 1. So it looks like this one we're going to end up with 4 solutions. So y equals 3, y equals negative 1. So when x equals 8, so we do have 8 comma 3 and also 8 comma negative 1. And then the last thing that you want to find out, the other set of y value when x equals 1. So when x equals 1, so we want to put in that y. Okay, the same equation again. So 7y squared minus 4 times 1, so minus 4, minus 14y plus 11 equals 0. So therefore, this one is considered 7y squared minus 14y, negative 4 plus 11, then that would be considered, okay, 9. Well, no, sorry. It's 7, excuse me. Okay, so take out 7, so we do have y squared minus 2y plus 1. So set equal to 0. And then this one you want to factor it, so 7 times the quantity of y minus 1, quantity square, equals 0, so y equals 1. And the multiplicity is what? 2. So what we got here, so we do have x equals 1 and y equals 1. So 1 comma 1. So the reason why that I said 4 solution because this one is the multiplicity. So you probably want to say that multiplicity. So that happens twice. Okay. Okay, so now going back to the template, let's see what else that we have for the rest of this. And then number 20, classify each conic sections and write its equation in standard form. For parabolas, identifying the vertex and focus. For the ellipses and hyperbolas, identifying the vertices and foci. Okay, so once again, I'm going to copy and paste for this one. Okay, so this one right here. Okay, let's try that one more time. Alright, so let's see, right here. Okay, copy and paste. Okay, so what we have is 18x equals negative 3 minus 5y plus 3x squared. So first thing that you want to do, so just by looking at the equation here, we do know that, and looks like this one, it's considered a hyperbola. A parabola, excuse me. Parabola, so that means we want to group those like terms. So 3x squared. So just put that 3x squared with that negative 18x together. And then everything else, we just want to move that to the other side. So this one, 3x squared minus 18x. So I just swapped that negative 3, negative 5y with that 18x. So the other side here turns out to be 5y. and then plus 3. So basically I take this one to the left hand side, this one back to the right hand side. So before we complete the square, let's just take out 3 first. So we do have x squared minus 6x plus blank. And then 5y plus 3, just keep it that way. So obviously this one, b over 2 quantity square, complete the square, negative 6 over 2 quantity square. So then that would be considered 9. So add 9 here. But the other side, we need to add the product of 3 and 9. Got to be careful. Whatever the number that you take out, you need to multiply that number with the new constant that you just add here. So 3 times 9, then that would be 27. So what we got is 3 times the quantity of x minus 3 square. So that equals 5y plus 30. And then the 5, you want to pull that out because that would be considered 4p. So 5 times the quantity of y plus 6. And then 3 times the quantity of x minus 3 square. Just rewrite it. And then you want to divide both sides by 3. So x minus 3 quantity square equals 5/3 times the quantity of y plus 6. So for the vertex here, so the vertex, we do have 3 comma negative 6. And then find out the focus. So this one is considered a vertical parabola. So the way to find the focus for the vertical parabola, it's considered h comma k plus p. So this one is considered 3 comma, so negative 6. Okay, let's find out what p is. So 4p equals 5/3. So multiply by 1 for both sides to solve for p. So that means 5 over 12. It's a fraction. So for k, then that would be considered negative 6 plus 5 over 12. So this one is written as negative 72 over 12 plus 5 over 12. So then that would be considered negative 67 over 12. So it's a real fractions. So negative 67 over 12. Well, sometimes that happens. And now let's see what else. Okay, so the other one, it's the Directrix. So that would be considered y equals k minus p. So that equals negative 6 minus 5 over 12. So negative 72 over 12 minus 5 over 12. Then that would be negative 77 over 12. So again, vertex, focus, directrix. Okay, going back to the instructions. So if that it's considered a parabola, identify the vertex. Oh, there's no need to find directrix. I just did the extra thing. Okay, so make sure that you need to read through the instructions. So you don't want to do anything that it's not asking for. Otherwise, you'll be wasting time on the test. So for the next one is quite similar. Classify the conic sections, write equation in standard form or in terms of the vertex form. For circles, identify the center radius. For ellipses, hyperbola, identify the center. Okay, so once again, copy and paste. Okay, so this one, let's see. Okay, for this slide here. Okay, so 2y minus 6x, so it looks like this one is going to be considered a ellipse. Because once you bring that the quadratic term to the left-hand side, so you'll see that it's considered x squared minus 6x, and then plus y squared plus 2y. Again, whatever that, you take that back to the other side, so you want to switch the minus to positive. If that's a positive, you want to change that to its negative. And then what else? The constant, just leave that on the right-hand side, negative 9. Okay, making sure that I got this one right. X squared minus 6x. And then y squared plus 2y blank. Okay, so complete the square. So this one add 9. And this one add 1. Again, b over 2 quantity square. So negative 6 over 2 quantity square. So 9. And this one too, b over 2 quantity square. So 2 over 2 quantity square. So it's 1. So there's nothing we pull out here for the coefficients. So just adding what? 9 and 1. So basically adding 10. Factor it. So we do have x minus 3 quantity square. So the other one here, y plus 1 quantity square. So that equals 1. And guess what? This one, it's just the equations of a circle. Because the denominator, they're exactly the same. It's a plus. So it's a circle. And the center for this one, so what we got, it's considered h comma k, so which is 3 comma negative 1. And the radius square, it's 1. So that means radius is 1. Okay, so that's all you need to do. Okay, so going back to the template. So that was 22. And what about 24 and 26? Classify each conic sections and write equation in standard form. Well, this one is even easier. So just need to complete the square. And again, this one is quite similar to the previous one. So it looks like that one is going to be an ellipse. Okay, so let's see right here. Snip. Okay, copy and paste. So for that one, also quite similar. Again, regroup them. So x squared, nothing goes along with that x squared, so that means there's no need to complete the square for x squared. It's only for that 7y squared minus 28y. Again, the separated constant. So we need to separate that negative 7. So take that to the right hand side. So take out the greatest common factor. So 7. So y squared minus 4y plus blank. So negative 4 over 2 quantity square. Complete the square for this. So we do have positive 4. So 7 times 4, then that'll be 28. So actually we're adding 28 on the right hand side. So 28 plus 7, then that'll be 35. And then this one here, just rewrite it. X squared plus 7 times the quantity of y minus 2 square. And then last thing that you want to do, divide it by 35. Divide it, divided by 35. So x squared over 35 plus y minus 2 quantity square over 1 equals 1. So this one, it's a horizontal ellipse. Okay, because that a squared is greater than b squared. Okay, so now let's see what else that we have for the last one. So once you get used to it, once you recognize all the structure, so this one is actually pretty easy. Okay, so now let's see the last one, 26. Okay, so 26. Okay, again, snip. Wait, what's happening? Okay, let me just figure out one thing here real quick. Probably putting the wrong stuff. Here we go. Okay, so 26. Okay, so brand new slide here. Okay, so let me just read through the instruction for this once again. Classify each conic sections. Okay, write it in standard form. Again, this one is quite similar to one of the previous problem. Okay, so if that's a parabola, identifying the vertex focus. Hyperbola, ellipses, identifying the center, vertices, foci. Alright, and looks like this one is going to be considered it's going to be considered a hyperbola. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Well, how do I know? Because this one, it's a minus. Minus. And the other side also is a minus. So once you group them together, so this one is considered 16y squared plus 32y. So just take that negative 16y squared back to the left-hand side. And then you want to group that with 32y. And then for that negative 9x squared, so you want to just put in positive negative 9x squared and minus 18x. So you might be wondering, well, we need to take out the negative common coefficient. Yeah, we do. But the thing is that one thing at a time, just regroup them first. And now let's see what else. Negative 137, so take that back to the right hand side, so positive 137. So before we complete the square, take out the greatest common coefficient. So we do have 16, so y squared plus 2y plus blank. And then this one here, take out the negative common coefficients, minus 9 times the quantity of x squared plus 2x plus blank. So that equals 137. And now the rest of this. And we want to complete the square, so b over 2 quantity squared, so we add 1 here. Wow, wait. Excuse me. Alright. Okay, so let's see. Undo. Sorry about that. So this one, add 1. And then this one right here, divided by 2. So add 1. Divided by 2 quantity square. So And the one that we're adding here is 16. And the one that we're adding here is negative 9. So S16 and negative 9, both sides. So complete the square. So we did that. And then we factor. So y plus 1 quantity square minus 9 times x plus 1 quantity square. So that equals 137 plus 16. Then that would be considered 153 minus 9. Then that would be considered 144. And then divided by 144 each side. Okay, wait a minute. So 137 plus 16, then that is considered 153 minus 9. Again, I cannot do the mental math today, so I need to show the word. It is 144. Okay, so divided by 144 eventually. And let's see what this is. So 16 times 9, that's 144. So this one reduce. So we do have y plus 1 quantity square over 9 minus x plus 1 quantity square over 16. So that equals 1. So for the value of h comma k, the center, which is considered negative 1 comma negative 1. And then for the foci, so this one is a vertical hyperbola. So for the foci, the way to define it, it's h comma k plus a. So for a square here, that's 9. So that means a is 3. And then b square, it's 16. So b is what? 4. So h comma k plus a, and then h comma k minus a. So using that structure, so h, which is what? Negative 1. So negative 1 plus 3. Then that would be 2. And then negative 1 for h, k minus a. So negative 1 minus 3, negative 4. Okay, so foci. Wait a minute, this one's not the foci, this one is the vertices. I always mix up those two things. H plus a, well, h comma k plus a, h comma k minus a, those are the vertices. Excuse me. The foci will be considered h comma k plus p, and then h comma k minus p, because this one is the vertical hyperbola. So negative 1, so for p, no, actually for c, excuse me. P, that's just the value for the getting the directrix. So k plus c, k minus c. So we do know that's a hyperbola. The way to find out the value of c, it's about using the Pythagorean Theorem. So c would be considered square root of a squared plus b squared. So 16, 9 plus 16, then that'll be what? 25, so which is 5. So h, negative 1, so k, negative 1 plus 5, which is 4. And then negative 1, so negative 1 minus 5, negative 6. So for the foci, vertices, and the center. And that's all, I think. And let me just double check that here. Center, vertices, foci, that's it. So once again, if you guys do like the video, so make sure that you subscribe my channel, because I'm going to put out more lecture video regarding Algebra 2, Trig Honors, and also Pre-Calculus for next semester, and also more calculus stuff coming up. Alright? So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great one.